Thank you for joining. We will start soon. Everybody, a couple more minutes to join. Well, it is straight up 3 o'clock for me because I'm in London. I don't know about everybody else. I'm sure it's a much better time and time zone. Early morning, hopefully. Welcome to another webinar with Redgate and Datavail, our partner. It's lovely to see everybody here today. We'll talk a little bit with some introductions about the past Data Community Summit. If you have not seen the call for papers came out, I love it. It's my favorite event. I always joke about being the weird Oracle girl that Microsoft adopted, and past Summit is one of my favorite events to go to. So if you haven't gone out there and looked at it, definitely go consider submitting a paper. Come out and speak with us. It is so much fun. It is November 17th through the 21st this year in 2025. How did we get to 2025? I have no idea. We also are doing in mid-August, we're on tour right now. We're doing little mini summits in different cities. I just finished the one in London. That's why I'm here. And we're doing another one in New York. And then we got one in Dallas. And then we got one in the Netherlands. We're just going to do the whole country. Why not? Why not? Do the next slide there. And if you're looking for information on this, the call for papers, like I said, is open. Go ahead and submit yours. There are 275 sessions at that big event. Like I said, I really enjoy this. We're going to do it. Hey, and they even tell you what city it is in the Netherlands now. I guess it isn't the whole country, but if you want to tour the whole country, I'll let you. I will not complain at all. The tour events are a lot of fun because you get more specialized like panels, and I had a great one with Matt Gordon and William Durkin this last week. It's just really interesting to talk about those challenges that customers are facing and go deeper into the technical questions that we all have. But if you're interested in speaking, definitely submit your application. And if you want those links, they are going to be in the slides, so you can just click on it. You won't even have to go search for it. And one more time, we'll just keep going here into here. And welcome to today's webinar. We are going to talk about migrating Azure SQL. If you don't know who I am, my name is Kellen Gorman. I am an advocate, an engineer. I do a lot of engineering right now on products and multi-platform and AI for Redgate. I am very busy on the products right now before I actually go out there and advocate. I need something to advocate for. But I've been around in the industry for about 27 years now, over a quarter of a century, which is a horrible way to describe yourself. I was an Oracle ACE director before I went to Oracle. I have worked for Microsoft. I am the reason, unfortunately, you have Exadatas and Azure and all these other clouds. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is who I am. And with me, go ahead and click there. And I'm going to turn this over to JP Chen. He is from Datavail. He's the director and global SQL Server practice leader. He does all the SQL Server stuff, and I do love SQL Server as well as Oracle, even though people just think of me as Oracle. He does all this stuff on SQL Server side, and everybody's moving over to Azure SQL, aren't they, JP?
Absolutely.
I'm going to let you continue on and introduce yourself because you're probably going to do a much better job than I am and start educating these people on migrations and what they do to win this fight. So go for it.
Well, hey, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm JP Chen from Datavail. I'm the Senior Director of the SQL Server practice. I'm really fortunate, we're lucky to have the privilege to work with a really talented team of DBAs, like 200 plus DBAs across US, India, Colombia, and Canada, supporting 250 plus customers with SQL Server environments from small setups to large enterprises. Whether you are looking to design a robust HADR solution or migrate your databases from on-premises to the cloud or trying to solve complex performance challenges, our team and I can definitely help and work with you. Let's say even you have like 0 or 25 SQL DBAs, or you have 1 or 1,000 SQL Server instances. We can definitely help support your SQL Server environment 24/7 maximizing uptime and minimizing callouts. Okay. Right, migrating to Azure SQL. Okay, I want you to imagine this. Just picture it, right? It's 3 a.m. in the morning. You are on the phone with your IT team because your company's critical database server just crashed again. The hardware is aging, scaling is a nightmare, and maintenance eats up most of your time. Now, I want you to imagine a world where you can scale on demand, minimize downtime, and focus more on strategic initiative rather than firefighting issues. Wouldn't that be nice? What if I told you this is all possible with Azure SQL? Over the next 50 minutes or so, we are going to explore the steps for a successful migration journey. We will start with the basics, with a very brief intro to the cloud. I'm going to keep it very brief, okay? And Azure SQL, and then move on to reviewing the processing models, service tiers, deployment options, and migration journey to Azure SQL. We will look at the Azure storage for SQL professionals, and then explore the migration options with Azure DMS. Finally, we will showcase the Azure SQL migration extension for Azure Data Studio. This extension offers a seamless migration experience directly within Azure Data Studio, enhancing efficiency and ease of use. Okay, this presentation is a 100 to 200 level SQL data for SQL data professionals. Right, the focus is strictly on migrating to Azure SQL. Right, as we have limited time for this presentation, we will do a Q&A at the end of the presentation. Okay, right, I do get it. Right, in case you have more complicated questions, we can definitely discuss more about it offline. Just brief intro about Datavail. We are one of the biggest database support provider in North America. In addition to SQL Server, we also support other DB platforms, such as Amazon Aurora, MySQL, PostgreSQL, MongoDB, DB2, and Oracle. Okay. We've been in business 18 plus years, building and operating mission critical data and application systems. We had invested 25 million in IP that improves the service experience and drives efficiency with our own proprietary in-house built products, for example, Service Boost and Tech Boost. We have a global team of more than 1,300 plus employees in the US, Canada, India, and Colombia. Right, just a brief intro about cloud computing and Azure SQL. Right, you can think of cloud computing similar to electricity. You don't need to own your power plant. Right? You just need to tap into a grid. Similarly, instead of maintaining physical servers, cloud computing lets you access IT services over the internet. This means flexibility, scalability, and usually lower cost since you are not managing your own hardware. Okay. What exactly is Microsoft Azure? Well, Azure is Microsoft's cloud platform, offering everything from compute and storage to AI and machine learning. With global data centers, it ensures low latency and high performance by keeping your services closer to your users. Okay. Why migrate to Azure SQL? Well, for SQL data professionals, moving to Azure brings a couple of key advantages, right? First one on top of my head is faster provisioning, right? You don't need to wait for weeks or days to get approvals to get them deployed, right? You can actually deploy the database in minutes. Okay? Scalability, okay? It's definitely easier to adjust resources based on demand, okay? And less maintenance, right? So because you don't need to maintain your hardware, so the maintenance activity will get reduced. Okay? So in terms of Azure SQL deployment options, right? You have platform as a service, which is what Azure SQL database belong to. Okay? And you also have infrastructure as a service. Okay? That's where Azure SQL VM, for example. Okay? Right? Azure SQL database is a fully managed service. The keyword here is a fully managed, meaning that Azure handles backups, patching, scaling, So you can focus on data and application logics, right? Let's say, however, let's say if you need more control, right, similar to what you have on-prem, okay, uh, definitely like SQL Server on Azure VM will let you manage SQL Server on a virtual machine, similar to on-prem setup, but with cloud benefits. Okay, so let's think about this. Where exactly does the cloud actually live, right? Of course, it doesn't live up in the cloud, okay? Right? Cloud computing might seem like data floating around in the air, but in reality, everything is stored in Azure data centers. It's a highly secure facility packed with thousands of servers. Right? Microsoft has built these centers right, around worldwide, right? So ensuring fast, reliable, and secure access to our data. And it has the regions, right? Azure regions. Okay? And why these matter, right? Why Azure region matter, right? And region is a geographic area housing one or more data centers. Okay? Microsoft has 60 plus regions worldwide from the Americas to Europe, Asia, Africa, and Australia. Why does this matter? Right, two things: performance and compliance. But let's talk about performance briefly. Like deploying databases closer to your users definitely reduce latency and speeds up access. Second one, compliance. Right, some regulations like GDPR require data to stay within specific region. Okay? For example, Karen, right now she's in London, right? So I know they follow different rule than GDPR, right? They may, but however, usually in the European countries, you need to follow the GDPR, right? When setting up our SQL databases, choosing the right region ensure optimal speed and regulatory compliance. Right, definitely, you also have these like AZ availability zones here, right? They have built-in redundancy. Like each Azure region contains like multiple AZs, like usually three or more. Okay? Like cluster, just think of them as cluster independent data centers with their own power, cooling, and networking. Right? Why it matters, right? For example, let's say if one zone goes down, like due to, for example, power outage or natural disaster, right? Not on the woods, okay, hopefully that won't happen, right? So let's say if like AZ1 goes down, AZ2 and 3, because they have their own independent like power, right? They can stay online as well, stay operational. Okay? Microsoft has 120 plus AZs globally, ensuring high availability. Okay. On top of that, it has Azure region pair. Okay, and this is definitely ultimately DR, right? Disaster recovery, right? Every Azure region is paired with another same geography, right? At least 300 miles apart, right? This setup ensures a priority recovery if an entire region goes down. Another benefit is like the update rollouts, right? They roll out in sequence, minimizing downtime. Okay. Right now now we cover the basics. Let's talk about like how you purchase compute and storage in Azure SQL. We have two models here. Okay, we have DTU. We also have recall. Okay, recall. Okay, right. So let's talk about the DTU model. It's simple and predictable. Right, DTU stands for Database Transaction Unit, which bundles compute, storage, and I/O into a single package. Right, what is best for simplicity? Just pick a performance tier without worrying about individual resources. Of course, there's a downside, right? The downside is less flexibility. You cannot adjust compute and storage separately, right? Let's talk about the recall. Recall model is flexible and scalable. A recall virtual core represents CPU in the cloud, allowing you to choose compute, memory, storage independently. Okay? The keyword is independently versus a bundle. DTU, you bundle it up, recall independently. Recall is best for workloads that needing fine-tune performance, cost control, and scalability. There's also a bonus here, right, for the recall model. If you have SQL Server license, with software assurance, right? The Azure hybrid benefit can definitely help save costs. Which one should you choose, right? Well, BTU is ideal for predictable workload and easy management, right? The recall model is definitely perfect for workloads that's very dynamic, right? And performance tuning and cost optimization, right? Okay. Azure offers three service tiers. I'm only going to cover the recall model, okay? Because Microsoft actually recommends you use the recall model going forward. Okay. Okay. Each one is designed for different workloads. Let's break them down. Okay. The first one is general purpose. This is for a balanced performance and cost. Okay. This is best for business applications that do not require ultra fast storage. It supports moderate performance with high availability. For example, okay, let's say you have an ERP system or a transactional web application that needs steady performance but not ultra low latency. There's something to consider, right? The keywords are balance cost and performance. The next one is business critical, right? When you need to have like high performance and low latency. It's definitely ideal for mission critical applications with high transaction volumes, okay, providing fast response time and built-in HA, okay, high availability. Like for example, let's say you have a financial trading platform or a high traffic e-commerce site that requires sub-millisecond transactions. There's definitely something to consider, right? To use the business critical service tier. The last one, hyperscale. It's extreme scalability. That's the keyword for hyperscale, extreme scalability. You can scale up to, on top of my head, previously it was up to 100 terabyte. I believe this morning when I checked, you can scale it up to 120 terabyte and more. Okay? This one's designed for massive databases, multi-terabyte scale, supports fast auto scaling and rapid data recovery. Right? One example is just think of a data warehouse or a SaaS provider with massive data sets needing seamless scaling. Right? Each service tier balance between performance, cost, and scalability. So the best choice, it depends, right? When in IT, always it depends. So the best choice depends on your workload requirements, right? Now we're going to, when migrating to Azure SQL, understanding the deployment options is the key. Right? Let's break them down on the different deployment options we have here. The first one is the SQL virtual machine. Right? This is infrastructure as a service. You can think of this as lifting and shifting. Right? The keyword is lifting and shifting. Your on-prem SQL Server instance to the cloud. You get full control over the OS, SQL Server instance, and custom configurations. Let's say if we need support for legacy applications and third-party software, there's something to consider. But it's critical to keep in mind that you are and you will be responsible for updates, backups, and security, just like on-prem. Second one's Azure SQL Managed Instance. This one belongs to platform as a service. This is best. This is the best for both roles, right? If it's fully managed, but the keyword is near 100% SQL Server compatibility. It supports, for example, SQL agent, cross database queries, and database mail. Okay. It handles backups. Okay. Azure handles backup, patching, and HA for you. Okay. It's easier migration from on-prem with minimal changes. Well, usually it's best for teams wanting to reduce maintenance, but need familiar. If your team really familiar with like on-prem instances and you want to stay in the retain those familiarity, right? There's something to consider. Okay, managed instances. And the third option we have here is Azure SQL databases. Okay, this is a fully managed platform as a service. Okay, fully managed. If you want zero infrastructure management, right, this is the way to go. And it has a couple of benefits, right? Automatic scaling, replication, and failover built in. Okay, it's built in. Okay. The focus is going to leave you and your team to focus on data and application logic, right? While Microsoft handles the infrastructure. Okay. It has intelligent performance tuning and security enhancements. Well, it's best for, let's say, you have a new or cloud native application, right? And it's designed around the Azure features, right? And you have variable workload zero, uh, needing auto scaling. This is something to consider. Okay. So which ones should you consider, right? Some of the key factor, let's say, for example, if we need full control, definitely consider SQL Server on Azure VM. Let's say we want compatibility with less admin, right? Less operational or admin maintenance, right? Azure SQL managed instance. Let's say if you prefer a fully managed scalable solution, okay? Azure SQL database is definitely something to look after. Okay? Each option has its strength, right? Of course, always choose based on your workload and operational requirements. Okay, here we're going to do a quick demo. Okay, I'm going to show you how to create an Azure SQL database and connect to the Azure SQL database from on-prem. Okay, and because we're not going to have enough time to show the whole video, I'm going to fast forward to the most critical uh, areas and screens that you need to see to create and connect to the database from on-prem. Right, very simple. Like you go into the portal and you type in Azure SQL, okay, and then you click on Azure SQL resource. As you can see, you have these options here, right? VM, MI, and Azure SQL database. In this case, we're going to choose this one, right? Create a simple database, Azure SQL database. Okay? And you choose a resource group, right? Give it a name. Okay? Choose a location that's closer to you or where majority of your customers are. Right? Very straightforward. Uh, Fill in the text boxes. Okay. Okay. Right here, it's going to show you the pricing. Depending what you select, it's going to show you how much it's going to cost you per month. Right? It's critical that you make a note of it, right, before proceeding. Right? The recall here, right? Right. Then it's going to go through steps to get the database created. Right. I'm going to fast forward to how you configure access. Okay. Once it completes creating, then you can configure your access. Right. In the portal, right, you can just hit configure. Right. Okay. In this case, I will allow my on-prem laptop to connect to it. So we select the networks here. Okay. You just need to add it, add your client IP. Right. No worries here. My client IP already been changed right after the recording. Right. Once you configure access, you need to copy the server name. Okay. I'm going to fast forward to where you copy the server name. Right here, you copy the server name. Okay, in the portal here, copy your server name, and then you go to, this is my laptop, right, in my on-prem instance. Paste it in. Okay, it's going to ask you to connect, authenticate again, right? You need to sign in again. Okay, now we connected, right? We're similar to the on-prem instance, except you're going to see a blue database here, right? That's the Azure SQL database, right? Let's continue. Now that we know how to deploy an Azure SQL database, let's talk about moving your databases from on-prem to Azure. The migration journey follows 5 key steps. First one, discover. Right? You need to know what you have. Right? Before migrating, we need to take inventory of all databases, right, and servers and applications. Identify critical but outdated databases and uncover dependencies and hidden workloads. Right? You can use some of the third-party software out there, but Microsoft has a map. Microsoft Assessment and Planning Toolkit can actually help you discover, okay, discover what you have. And you can also use Azure Migrate to discover what you have as well. Second step is to assess. Are we ready? Right? You want to know if you're ready to, for example, to evaluate the compatibility. Is it compatible? And the performance needs, what do we need, right? Identify, for example, identify unsupported SQL Server features in Azure SQL. Right? Ensure publicizing for performance, right? You can use some of the software like what we're going to show you a little bit later on, the Azure SQL migration extension for Azure Data Studio to scan for issues and provide recommendations. And step 2 is to migrate, right? So it's moving data to Azure. This is where we transfer databases to the cloud, right? You have 2 options, offline and online, right? Offline is best for a short downtime window. Online, when you want to minimize downtime, is definitely ideal for critical workload, right? And then step 4, you do a cut over. You switch to Azure. Once migration is complete, you need to redirect applications to Azure SQL, ensure data syncs up to date, right? Test thoroughly, and before switching users over. Like communicate, of course, communicate with users about the brief downtime as well, right? The downtime window. What's the expectation there? And step 5 is to optimize. Once you migrate, right, you need to fine tune for Azure, right? After migration, we need to monitor and optimize the performance, right? Adjust scaling based on workload, right? Enable Azure features for better efficiency. For example, right, auto scaling and indexing. Okay? But migration is more than just moving data. It's about ensuring smooth transitions with minimal disruption while leveraging Azure's full capability. Right? Azure provides a couple of storage options to handle different data needs. Right? You have, for example, file, that's for file share, and queue, that's messaging between services, and table, right? You for structured NoSQL data, right? The NoSQL data, you need to have tables. But I missed like one of the box here. That's for this storage for virtual machines, okay? And then a block storage for unstructured data, like backups, logs, or media files. Today, we're going to focus on block storage, right? It's critical too for database backup and migration. Like block storage, just think of it as scalable storage for files, images, backups, and more, right? And for a container, right? I know when we see keyword container, it can mean many different things, okay? In this case, just think of it as a folder, right? Block containers, just think of a folder for organizing blobs, making data management easier. Okay? Now, security, okay? Storage security, you have access keys and SAS tokens. Share access signature, okay? SAS tokens. Right? Access key, this is the master key to a storage account, okay? Don't give this out, right? It's high risk, right? We're going to focus on SAS token here. Okay? This is SaaS tokens allow you to secure, provide secure and time limited, the keywords time limited access with custom permissions, read, write, and delete. Okay. Instead of like exposing your access keys, use SaaS token to control who gets access, what they can do, and for how long. Okay. I repeat, okay. With SaaS, you can control who gets access, what they can do to it, and how long they get this access. Like Azure Storage is more than just a data repository. It's a secure, scalable, and flexible way to handle SQL backups, logs, and migration files. Right. I'm going to show you very quickly on how to create storage account and create a container, and then back up on-prem database, a very small on-prem database to the container, okay, to a block container. Again, because we have limited time, so I need to fast forward a little bit to the most critical screens where you see on how to do these 3 steps here. Okay. Again, go to the portal. We're going to create a storage account. Okay, storage account. Okay, very similar to what we did earlier, right? In creating an instance. So you need to specify the resource group, okay, give a name and location. Okay, the steps are pretty much self-explanatory. With the exception that you need to pay attention to is the redundancy, right? You can choose to, you can select to have a local redundancy, and you can choose to have like GRS, that's geo redundant storage, right? There are different levels of redundancy. With each one, of course, like the price will be very different, right? If we just do it locally, so it's much more economical, okay? Versus like we need to have a geo redundancy. That's going to be side, it's going to cost a lot more, okay? Right? So these are steps to create a storage account. I'm going to fast forward over to, okay. Once the storage account is created, we're going to create a container. Okay. To create a container, you just need to hit containers here. Yes, you can also do this through the CLI, right? The command line as well. Okay. Okay, we're going to create a container, give a name. Okay, so we name it Azure SQL Backups. And now we're going to run a backup from my on-prem instance, like my laptop. Okay, on the small database on my laptop. I'm going to run a backup to the Azure storage, right, to the container. Right, so make sure you select URL, add, right, click the new container here. Right, you'll be able to select the storage account. Remember, already authenticate, right? If not, you just sign in again. Okay? You have the option sign in, sign out, already sign in. That's why you see the sign out option here. Once I sign in, you'll be able to detect my storage account that I had just created in the container. And most importantly, the SAS. Okay? You can specify when it gets expired. Okay, create credential. I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. Hit OK. Hit OK again. Okay, it's executing. It's running. Once it completes, right, I'm going to show you when I go to my Azure storage account in the container, you'll be able to see the backup file. Right, so that's the container. So I go into container. There we go, right? The AdventureWorks database backups complete, 200 meg, right? 200 megabytes here, right? It's pretty straightforward. Okay. Right, let's continue. Now we have covered the backing up a database to Azure storage. Let's talk about the Azure database migration service. Okay. It's a powerful tool that makes migrating to Azure seamless. So first, what exactly is DMS? Azure DMS. Think of Azure DMS similar to your moving company for your databases. Just like professional movers handle the logistics when relocating a home, like Azure DMS automates and simplifies database migration, ensuring minimum downtime. Okay. There are different types of migrations. You have homogeneous, and then you have heterogeneous migrations. Just think of like homogeneous migrations is moving between same database engines. For example, SQL Server on-prem to Azure SQL, the same database engine. Heterogeneous migrations is moving between different database engines, from Oracle to Azure SQL, right? So again, different, heterogeneous. They're different. Oracle and SQL are different. So in this case, it's moving between different database engines, right? Because the heterogeneous migrations will require schema and data type conversions. We have two types of migrations: online, offline, right? Pretty self-explanatory. I think the keyword giveaway, right? Offline is when database goes offline. Doing migration is best for short downtime windows. Online migration, the database stays online and accessible, right? Do continuous replication. It's best for business needing near zero downtime. Okay. With Azure DMS, your migration is faster, easier, and less disruptive, like helping you to transition to a cloud with confidence. Right. Okay. We cover a lot about migrating to Azure SQL, but now let's talk about a tool that makes this process even smoother. Azure SQL migration extension for Azure Data Studio. What's Azure Data Studio? Right, it's very similar to SSMS, but it definitely has a lot more development capabilities there. Right? It's cross-platform. Right? You can use it in Windows, Mac OS, Linux. It's definitely make for like SQL data professionals. It's user-friendly. It has a pretty rich set of tools you can use. It's extensible, right? You can download plugins uh, like SQL migration extension, right, for Azure Data Studio. Now, here's an important note. When I was preparing for this presentation, and it's a few weeks ago, Microsoft announced Azure Data Studio will retire. Okay, will be retired on February 28, 2026, next year. So the replacement is Visual Studio Code. It will take over as the preferred platform. Okay, but no worries here, guys. Remember, like the concepts I'm showing here is very similar. Okay, regardless of the tool that you're going to use, I'm pretty sure Microsoft will do something very similar. Right, you probably will develop a plugin. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that it will be fall in line with like what I'm saying here. We will have a different plugin just for Visual Studio Code, right, to do perform similar functions here. Okay, right. Let's talk about SKU. Okay, what is SKU and why does it matter? Okay. SKU is Stock Keeping Unit. It defines a service performance, feature, and cost in Azure. Like performance, like recall, memory, storage type. Cost is how much, right? The price like way different between depending how powerful you want your instance to be. Okay, right. Some of the features can include like in-memory OLTP, XA options, and so on, right? Uh, and and uh, general purpose SKU, right? That's for, I know we already talked about it in the previous slides. Okay, it's best for standard workload and business critical SKU, right? For low latency, high availability workload, right? Choosing correct, the right SKU definitely will ensure optimal performance without overspending. Now, why would we use the Azure SQL migration extension? This is a powerful extension. Definitely will simplify migrating SQL Server databases to Azure SQL by providing end-to-end workflow, like guides you do assessment, recommendation, and migration. Right? So it's an integrated experience. Everything happens within Azure Data Studio. Just think of it as a one-stop tool to ensure a smooth, efficient migration with minimal hassle. Okay. Now let's break down the steps in migrating to Azure SQL using Azure SQL migration extension, right? I know I'm talking about this tool here, okay, the Azure SQL migration extension. Again, the concepts apply regardless of which tool you're going to use, okay? Right, so step one, usually you're going to collect the performance data, right? You need to understand the workload right before migrating. Yeah, we need a snapshot of your SQL Server performance. But why do we do this, right? Because you need to right size your SQL, your Azure SQL resources to avoid over provisioning or under provisioning. But how do you do this, right? So you capture your CPU, memory, I/O, and query performance over a typical workload, which is very similar to what we've been doing using Puffmon, right? Matter of fact, under the hood, that's exactly what he's doing there. Okay, he's going to use something very similar to capture those performance metrics, right? In terms of workload, your typical workload can be 1 day or it can be 7 days. Okay, we save the results. Okay, we once collected, the data is exported and stored for analysis. Right, this definitely help in like future references and comparisons. Right, ensure we make data-driven migration decisions. Okay. Step three is the tool can help you analyze and get the SKU recommendations. Okay. It can help you make decision if it's going to recommend if we need a general purpose, business critical, or hyperscale service tier. Okay, and then you can definitely review and address this critical, address like the findings, right? If you have any type like incompatibility issues, like you definitely before migration, you definitely need to uh, resolve those issues, right? Scan for any unsupported features, deprecate data types, and also make the necessary code changes before proceeding. Okay? Just prevent any type of showstoppers. Okay, you need to get them fixed. Okay? Right, it can help you identify fixes before issues impact migration. Okay, and the last one, execute and execute the migration. Okay, and monitor progress. When ready, we choose the database and object to migrate, and you need to select the online or offline migration based on the downtime tolerance. Okay, and monitor the progress in one place. Okay? I'm going to very quickly show you how this migration extension can do that, all these steps that we just discussed. Okay? I'm going to move a little bit quickly because we're running short in time here. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, once you see it, you'll be able to correlate how easy it can be. Okay, I already have like Azure Studio downloaded, and also the extension, migration extension already downloaded. Okay. Right, I can already connect to my on-prem instance. This is the source. Okay, I will migrate one small database, Symbol DB, uh, to Azure SQL. Okay. Okay. Right, I select the extension here. Okay, click new migration. Okay, as you can see, we have the options to start data collection. Right, once you run the data collection, right, you just need to like run for your typical workload. It's going to capture like all the data and then help make estimates on what you need, right, in terms of either general purpose, business critical, or hyperscale service tiers. Okay. This is where they start the data performance data collection. Okay, right, because we're running short in time, then I stop the data collection. Right, I make believe like we already collect enough data to make estimates. Right, so it's going to have three different files, Excel files. Okay? It's pretty self-explanatory. Once you open it, you're going to have the database level counters and instance level counters and performance aggregated metrics in there to further explain what each one means, right? It's pretty self-explanatory. Okay. Okay. I'm going to fast forward to to show you the steps, like how you make the recommended SKUs. Okay, right. As you can see here, right. So this tool help you make the recommendations based on your workload that was captured. We actually recommend to have a general purpose to recall and the storage. Okay, and furthermore, you can save the report, right, for future references and to review it in a later date. Okay, the report will be HTML report. Okay, it's going to look like this. Okay. It's really similar to what we see earlier in a different screenshot. However, this one you can save it in later days, and it just give it a much better format in a table. Okay, uh, again, explain like compute size and justifications. Okay, right. I'm going to fast forward to when the findings. Okay, so it's going to help identify what the issues that you may have, what the things that you need to resolve before migration, right? So in this case, again, only because I'm doing this on a really small database, usually you're going to see a lot more assessment findings. Okay, in this case, this is expected. Previously, I created a credential for my on-prem instance. A credential required to back up a database directly to the cloud. So a credentials was created. However, right, like this said right here, it actually explains that the Azure credential is not supported. Right, this explanation is pretty straightforward. However, in many cases, it's not. Okay, my experience, like many cases, it's not straightforward. You need to further research in terms of decrypt like what it was trying to tell you. Okay. All right, in this case, we're going to select the target, right? Select the target for to migrate. Okay, if we don't already have a target database created, you just need to create a database in the target instance. Okay, all right. So once you select the source, select the target, you need to validate. Okay, so you just go do a validation, and then you need to review, right? You need to review to confirm these are things you need. For Azure SQL, right now the only option I notice is offline migration. Okay, and it may change in later days. Now I'm running the migration now. Okay, this tool will show you the status. This is going to take a good amount of time. That's why I'm going to forward it. Okay, fast forward. I'm going to show you when it completes, what it looks like when it completes. There we go. Right, when it completes, it tells you like the duration, how long did it take, right? Everything's successful, and you can further verify it. Okay, that'll be it. Looks pretty, straightforward, right? All the steps here, the tool just help you complete all these steps here. Right, please look out on your email if you're a winner of the free book. And with that, we appreciate all your time, right? Definitely, I wish you all a successful migration to Azure SQL. Now, in case you have any questions or problems you want to further discuss, definitely please reach out. Right? Myself and my team can help further review and discuss with you.
And then we're on to my slide. There were a couple questions though. Are you ready, JP?
Sure. Yeah, I know we're running out of time here, but
There's a couple though. There's two questions that we could answer pretty quickly.
Okay.
When you're looking at Azure SQL environments and everything on pricing, have you found, Will asked this, he says on pricing, have you found that for a given RAM CPU configuration, Azure SQL will cost about half as much as Enterprise Edition SQL Server, but about twice as much as standard edition SQL Server. Have you found that in your projects?
Okay, so in terms of licensing, so of course, we use an enterprise edition, right, and
Yep.
versus standard. So that's the pricing for the license. Okay, but however, I would suggest that you look into the pricing calculator, right? Just Google like Azure pricing calculator. It has pretty good estimate in terms of showing you like how much it's going to cost, not to the T, okay, not to the dot, not
Yep.
exactly how much it's going to give you. We good ballpark number, we close to it.
Yeah, the Azure calculator is pretty impressive for just about
Mhm.
anything inside Azure of getting a ballpark price point for it. I would
Right.
agree that's a great way of doing that. There were a couple other questions here. One of them, Paul, he has two questions actually. One, how does Datavail help address challenges in minimizing downtime during database migrations to Azure SQL? I know you went through the actual migration tool, but how does Datavail help that specifically?
Right. So usually what we engage client, like we want to uh, understand the SLA, right? How much like SLA in terms of downtime you have, right, to meet your business requirements, and we definitely like figure out uh, there are many different ways of reducing downtime, right? Depending like if you're migrating to Azure SQL, Azure SQL MI, or Azure on VM, right? And there are different methodologies, right? For we small scale databases, and definitely like we can use like the online migration option, right? And depend on scale. We have seen some clients with like 50 gigabyte database up to like 5 terabyte database, right? Depending on this scale, you may need to have like a real-time replication, right? To keep doing it, to keep the data alive, right? To keep like the online migration. Again, it depends. So there are different options, right? The on real-time replication, that's one of them, right? The two that we are using, either DMA or Azure, no, migration extension. Some of them they have built-in options to be able to do that. But definitely we need to have a further conversation in terms of understanding the requirement.
Excellent. And last question, how might Datavail make the most of AI-powered database optimization tools in Azure SQL to enhance query performance?
Okay. We do have our in-house proprietary products. One of them I talked about earlier, Tech Boost. Okay. Tech Boost, and we have our own in-house development team. Right? Like again, earlier in the slide, I talked about heavily invest $25 million plus and continue to invest a lot of money on that product. That's our in-house product. Not only can it monitor your SQL Server instances, not just SQL Server, okay? Right? We are talking
Yeah.
about Oracle, MySQL, PostgreSQL as well. Right? There are a lot of like continuous like improvement being made. Right? Of course, AI is the hottest keyword, the sexiest keyword out there nowadays. Definitely, we do have a team. Many things are in progress, right? So in terms of focusing on the AI area, okay, to enhance like monitoring, performance tuning, right? Performance assessment, SQL Server health check, right? Just name a few. Okay.
I know we're running out of time here, but Will snuck in one more question
Okay.
here. He
Yeah.
says, on general purpose basic tier of Azure SQL, have you personally seen any 60-second IO delays like others have seen? And I know the answer to this one, but I want to hear your answer to it.
Okay. For general purpose, remember, general purpose, the storage is not directly attached. Okay, it's actually separate. So again, the keywords not directly attached. Just imagine like they will. Yes, unfortunately we have seen it. Okay,
Yeah.
like is that your experience as well?
It is, and I always tell people whenever you're gonna migrate a database, doesn't matter the platform,
Mm,
Oracle, SQL Server, Postgres, whatever it is, definitely know your workload before you choose. You know, that VM choice, if you're doing
mm,
this type of solution, you can pick your CPU and you can scale it up pretty easily. Your storage, you can't. Once you get that data file sitting on that storage, you're kind of stuck with it until you do a full migration off of that to another storage platform. So think about the IO even more so than anything else. People like CPU memory. IO is really important. Yeah.
exactly right. we always suggest like do your testing. Okay, do your testing because you may have an amazing plan. Okay, you
Yeah.
spend many days planning it until you get up to the stage. I'm not going to give you the boxing metaphor here.
Yep.
until
And
like
it's even
until we
more
get
so when you're migrating to a different
yeah,
platform because you may have invested decade or more in performance optimization on the
right,
platform you were before. And Azure SQL does have a little bit of differences in it. So definitely take the time to do that testing.
exactly.
That's it. You got through them all. Through them all. Thank you so
Wow.
much.
Thank you everyone for your time.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Have a lovely afternoon. I know for me, it's almost getting into evening, so it's time for me to find out if there's any new gins in London. How about you, JP? You're going to enjoy your afternoon, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely. Enjoy your time in London. Okay,
Thank you, everyone. Have a great
thank you
day.
all.